It's all yours, bud.
All right. I want to thank everybody for joining us. If you don't know me, that's a good picture, as good a picture as I can get of myself. My name's Terry Power, and I have been doing SEO for quite a long time. And I've been a part of the Ranking Factory tools for quite a while also. So today, I want to run you through a demonstration of the newest version of a piece of software that is a great time saver. As we all know, things we do in our SEO campaigns can take time, but creating various properties online, well, it was slow work, but not anymore. Okay. With this software, you can build hundreds of new Google sites in minutes, which will allow you to scale your networks even faster. And I did say new Google sites, not the old Google sites, which are slightly different and being phased out as we speak by Google. But the new software will allow you to work smarter, which is always the goal. So you don't keep wasting as much time. You can automate this building of the G sites, hundreds of them, which allow you to grow and scale your agency. Or if you've got just a small one-man operation, you can scale even further. And then here's an important point: unlimited Gmails. You can put as many Gmails in this thing as you want. And on any given Gmail, you can build 100 G sites if you want. So, and if you put in 10 Gmails, you don't have to log in and log out of each Gmail as you go. The software will handle that and just switch between them. Easy peasy. So then you can create these properties. They can be tier 1 properties. You can use them in any way you want. If you'd rather have them be a ranking property, or you'd rather have them be a tier 2 or 3, building out your money property. And anyone who buys any Ranking Factory tools becomes part of this exclusive community. These Skype groups are unrivaled. I mean, people are helpful. You'll also have, of course, money back guarantee goes without saying, but world-class support. The support is incredible for all of the factory softwares. So Google Sites Factory, that's the software, right? It allows you, as I said, to work harder, not smarter. And I'm going to show you how easy it is and how it can be scalable. And it'll allow you to transform your backlink building. So, and this is, there's a great deal on it right now. So, and for a limited period. Here's a quote from Errol, someone who's used the software. He was deploying at least 4 sites that link to the client's money site, and stuffing them up and doing all that stuff. But now that he's got Google Sites Factory, to quote him, it makes life so much easier. In half an hour, I had 4 G sites the way I wanted, simple to use. If you go pro, you should use pro tools. Thank you, Errol. So it's all going to be a matter of how big you want to scale. Again, like I said, you unlimited number of G sites. So you can scale as wide in a niche or as narrow and deep in a niche as you want. Unlimited Google sites based on your input. And if you've never heard of it before, it's not your fault. It's our fault for not getting it out there more. And granted, most marketers don't even bother with Google Sites because they know they've frankly been such a hassle to build. So, but that doesn't matter. You don't have to be an expert at Google Sites, because Google Sites Factory is going to do that for you. There'll be no confusion. It is literally fill in the blanks. I'm going to show you in a second here. And when the software asks for title, you put in a title. When I ask for a YouTube video URL, you put in a video URL, so on and so forth. So, everybody ready to see me show you exactly how it works? Feel free to put a 1 in the chat there. And I will. Can you now see the software? Can you see it, Patrick?
Hang on.
Okay, just want to make sure, because when I switch screens, sometimes I don't want to make sure, don't want to lose anybody. So
Yep, I see it. You're good.
okay, this is the software interface. Right now, I am in the Manage APIs module, where you can put in APIs for various things, for indexing services, for Google APIs. I'm not going to click to them right now because they've got my APIs in them. But, you know, it's a Maps API, translation API, indexing APIs, things you'll need later, right? So go to the next tab here, which is your Google accounts. You'll see I've got a couple of accounts in here that have names, emails, passwords, and then they have access. I didn't put in a Blogger API, but at any rate, you can put in up here a Gmail and password, and then add new and add a Gmail and another Gmail and another, as many as you want. Okay. The software will save these. And as I said before, when you switch between them, it'll seamlessly go to the next account. You won't be logging in, logging out, re-verifying all the time, stuff like that. These tabs up here are mirrors of the tabs up here as I have opened them. So that's why, but I'm going to go back down to here just to keep it simple. But this tab is the same as this one. Google Counts, same as this one, so on and so forth. There's also a tab down here for support. Like I said, world-class support. So if you have an issue, the tab for support right in the software, or you can reach through the Skype group. A tab here for training, YouTube videos showing you if you're missing a step or you're not sure what you should be doing next. Lots of good information in there too. So let me go, and of course, here's where you put in your license when you buy it and activate the software. So I'm going to go to the Google Sites, the actual tool. Now, as I've said, it's pretty much fill in the blank, and I've gone ahead and filled in some blanks just to save us time. But up here, I can switch between accounts if I want. Like I said, I've got 2 Gmail accounts, and that's all you need to do to switch to a different Google account. It was that simple. You do need to give a title to your page, what your website's going to have as a title. Then there's information down here you can fill out. Now there's a button here to select images that you're going to use. So I click the button and it opens up a browser and I put in some images. Doesn't really matter what they are for this purposes, but obviously you'll want to use optimized, good images for your G sites. Now, before I go through this stuff, does anybody have any questions so far on either the Google account stuff, API stuff, and the stuff I've already covered?
Do you need proxies for this system? No.
That's a good question. No, you do not. Unlimited Gmail.
We don't need them.
Right. Okay, nothing else right now. I can keep going.
You're good.
Okay.
Wait a minute. How many extra pages can you create? As many as you want. The system that Terry will show you will create 6 additional pages, I believe, but no VPN is needed either. But literally, you could, Terry, create 100 pages if you wished.
Correct.
We don't limit you. G Sites doesn't limit you, but in practicality, we built a software here so that you could have your base pages, your security pages, and add an additional 6 pages of content for sub pages underneath your main G site. So that's what we built, but there is no limitation. So you could go absolutely bonkers if you wish.
Yeah, you can build huge G sites or a bunch of small ones that all lead to a client site or your money page, whatever it is your focus is on.
Okay,
So-
underneath, wait a minute, underneath the website title, it says published URL. What is that used for? What is it?
Good question. And I was going to cover it when we went to over here. You can see we have
Wait till we
buttons.
get there then.
Once this is published, then we have a URL for the site. If I had already built a site, a Google site, I could put that published URL in here if I wanted and work on that Google site. But this one I'm building right now has not been published, so we have no published URL for it. Does that make sense?
Mhm. So that's kind of cool though, Terry. If you come in here and you put in your published URL, it brings up the data for you to edit. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Wow. So you don't have to go into the site, edit the site, do all the bull crap that's associated with that. You could just come back in here, change a few things, correct a couple things, make it look a little prettier and hit publish again and bang, Bob's your uncle and you're done, right?
Or you could change the title and create a different one.
Make a couple changes, spin the content, change the title, and bang, you got another one?
Yeah.
That's too stupid.
Or you can once you've uploaded one, published or not, you
Right.
can log into your Gmail outside of this software and go in and tweak it all you want also. So it doesn't prevent you from doing anything manually that you really want to do manually, or at a later date, a VA maybe who doesn't have this software, you need them to go in and add this particular video or something like that. That can be done outside of the software if somebody else is also working on the site with you. So,
Well, here's the other cool part of that is that, Steve, you don't need VPN. You can use your laptop, right?
right.
As you build these out and then they get published, you do have a lot of buttons and other things that you could do on G sites. And over time, we're going to be building out more tutorials about how to actually use the finished product tweaking as opposed to the building product tweaking. So we're going to have more tutorials on, how to use this feature, how to use that feature, and so forth as we go on. And then, secondly, as I know you're probably going to get to at some point, but at this particular juncture, why don't you explain to them what the API is and what it's going to do and how much nicer it's going to make their life when it gets here?
Well, Google at some point is going to release an API for the new Google sites. And that will allow us to, for one, these will go quicker. The building, will be, I won't say instantaneous, but much quicker. And when like we were just talking about editing sites, when you come in and make those edits, those will all go instantly, even to live sites. So the biggest difference will be speed. And with speed comes scalability.
Right. And they'll have a couple extra features that we don't have in here that we can add. And for, like Terry said, the ones that we do have, it'll be lightning fast and you can just really scale your business up with these. Just think if you were to take 30, 45 minutes a day and you come in here and, just do 3, 4, 5 of these a day over a period of a year, how much power would you be driving to your sites? Pretty awesome, eh?
Yeah. And while we're talking about publishing, you see these buttons up here, save and load. If I click on the save button, down in the bottom left corner where it says status, it says it finished saving that project file. Now this project file hasn't been run, but if I want to come back in later, switch to a different account different Google account and create another Google site. We can change the title and go over here to load. And it'll pull up what Google sites I have saved already, projects. Whether they're from today or whether they're from 6 months ago, 6 days ago. If I want to go back and bring them out and do them again or make changes to them, I can do that. And instantly everything would be there. When I say everything, I'm going to show you what I've put in already, where you can put in as you go to build your Google sites. Like I said, I've clicked the home, about us, privacy, contact us. And for the contact us, I put in information. I didn't put in a website. Note that because I'm going to show you later. I put in an address and email. And then I added 3 additional pages I want to build for this roofing. It's a fictitious roofing company, but and then I can pick which style. Google sites come in a few different styles. So I can pick one. Doesn't really matter if you've got a preference. And then the font for that one, I don't know why, maybe it's my monitor, but that should say font, but it's just scooted over a little. And you get your choice. For each site, Google has 3 different fonts. And I usually tend to pick the middle one, but doesn't matter. So anyway, once I've made those choices, then I can go over here to the actual Google site content. So I go to that tab. I'll show you here. One of my options is to have spin text set up. So I've got some spin text in here. I'm not going to use it right now because I want to show you what I've done. In the home page, I've put in some text. All of this text is editable. You got right here, you can edit it. I bolded something. You can make, build links with any of this text. So you can put whatever text you want in here. Then if you want to have some embeds, you can go down here and put in an embed code. You can put in several, depending on what you want to do. On this page, I just put 2, but you could put 5 if you wanted. I put in a link to go in my header and in my footer. I added, here it says YouTube video URL. So guess what this is? That's right, a YouTube video URL. Like I said, it's just a matter of filling in the blanks. I have a image to go in the body, an image to go in the header. I've chosen from those images I had downloaded. About us page, again, you can put any text you want in here, any embed codes you want here. You pick a header image and a body image, YouTube video URL, all sorts of stuff. You just fill in blanks, though. It's that simple. The privacy page is a pre-built privacy page template that will, automatically show up, and it's Google approved and everything like that. So that's not a problem. Contact us page. Now notice there's name, phone, address, email, not website, because as I showed you, I didn't include website. Had I included it, it would have been in here. So that when the site is built, this will be populated by the information I provided in those fields. And you can put in whichever fields you want or not. That's certainly up to you. You can notice here, you're not going to have a bunch of embeds because it's a contact us page here, and I didn't even put in a YouTube video URL for this one. I just chose a couple images, and that's all I did for that. And then I have these 3 extra pages I put up here, and I've got some, information in them, some embeds, YouTube URL again, chosen some images. None of that takes a long time. I mean, I can go decide, I want a different image, if I want, but it doesn't matter right now. But each of these pages, again, you have the option of using embeds, YouTube video, images you want or don't want, you can take out, keep in. And each of these pages, this content is different, okay? But if I wanted to, I could go to this spin text and hit spin, and each page would then have a spun version of this information right here. And I'll do that in a second, but first I want to show you with different content, because each of these pages currently has different content. So, okay, any question now before I hit a button up here?
Let me check.
Okay, basically all I've done is fill in blank
You're good.
and various, codes, things like that. I'll show you though, while I'm thinking about it, these iframes that are down here. Normally the iframe would be generally 600 by 400, give or take. But instead of it being 400 high, I often change that so we're just looking at a small sliver that appears to be a line on the page, but Google will see the entire iframe, whatever it is. And in this case, this is just some random roofing pages from roofers that I grabbed to use for the embed codes.
What'd you use, 6.5?
No, that was 65. This is 45 pixels.
Oh, you use that many? I usually use 10.
Well, sometimes, depending on the page, if you use 5 or 10, sometimes you're getting no color at all.
Right. Not true.
So I like to see something there, but it doesn't have to. Google will see it anyway. But just as a tip, if you're going to use iframes, you can iframe competitors. You can iframe, any article from Wikipedia, whatever, stuff like that. And you don't have to show the whole iframe if you don't want. You can just show the very top and just have a sliver of it going across the width of the page, or even just a dot if you want. I've seen it done where it was just a 5 by 5 pixel dot and then another one next to it. And so it made it almost a line that way of a dozen 5 by 5 blocks. So a dozen iframes in a block right there.
Well,
Okay.
I think one of the things that you said is that if you use the embed codes, and I understand, but if we're giving you the opportunity to create 5 embed codes with 5 different sets of metadata content, to go on those pages to help boost, the rankability and the positioning of not only the G site, but the data that's within there. Let me ask anybody a question. If I give you the ability to use 5, how many are you going to use? 1, 2? Who can answer that question for me? How many are you going to use when you build these out? 25. We're a little behind the, we're a little behind the, five for every 5 pages is 25. There you go, Brian. You got it. That's how powerful that this system is with these little things that we built in for you guys. Don't take them lightly. They're very, very powerful, as Terry just said.
Okay, so up here, I have a button which will allow me to upload this to whatever Gmail account I happen to be in. And this will allow me to publish it. Now, if I want to publish it, I've still got to have to upload it. So if I click this, then I click on upload, it will publish as it uploads versus just uploading it and having it as a draft. And so I click that button, and down here in the bottom left corner, the status says uploading images, and it's going through the numbers if you can see it. If anybody has any questions, this is just going to take a minute while it uploads these, because I'll tell you right now, I'm working through the VPS. So if I were doing this on my own computer, it would load the images quicker because they'd be right on my computer and going to the internet versus going through a VPS and then but at any rate, it's up to 13 of the photos, 14 of the photos now. So they're almost done.
Okay.
But
there is one question from Randall. He says, what's the difference between G sites Factory and Backlink Factory?
Good question.
It is. You want to answer it?
Well, Backlink Factory doesn't build any G sites.
Or any sites?
Well, that's true. Backlink Factory builds properties in your Google Drive, not websites. While I'm talking, I'm trying to open this up a little so you guys see this is, once it's got the pictures uploaded, it goes to work. So it's
Stay with this for now. We'll answer that later.
that's a background, one of the images was a background for that. So it's just going to fill in the pages with the content I had. There's doing embed. But it's doing its thing. Backlink Factory, though, builds you spreadsheets full of links. And it does it in a way that makes it really powerful, but builds a lot of links pretty quickly.
And I think the key point there, Terry, being consistent with what we do, is all those links that we're building, they're all Google backlinks.
Yeah.
So when you build your G sites and you take your Backlink Factory and you use Backlink Factory to backlink your G sites, now you're having Mike Tyson fight Muhammad Ali. For those of you who might know who those people are. Which is referring to maybe an older generation, but maybe not. Maybe Mike Tyson, maybe people know who Mike Tyson and Ali are anyway. It doesn't matter. If you don't know Mike Tyson, he's the one that bit the guy's ear off.
And now has a face tattoo.
Face tattoo. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. That's it, Brian. You got it. Sorry, Terry.
That's okay.
But you see how fast this is working, even though we're working off that VPS? It's pretty cool. Brian's asking, don't you have a face tattoo on one of your profile pictures, Terry?
Yeah, but that's a different issue, Brian.
Listen, if we can't have fun, what's the point?
Yeah, my face tattoo was temporary. But as long as I had it, I had to get some headshots,
There you go. John is asking also a link to buy. I don't know that we have that up yet, but you have to leave, John. I'm going to put it in the chat for you. Now, let's see here.
And also, there is a discount code, TRS, all caps 30, TRS 30. The T, R, and S are all caps. If you want to put that in along with the a buy code for anybody interested in buying this. Now, the information I plugged in today is fairly random. I mean, I did get some roofing information for the roofing since I was going to do roofing, and the images and stuff are either background image, like this is just a green background image, or it's actual pictures of roofing stuff. But
speaking of content, just for those that don't know, in keeping with the consistency of what we do here at the Ranking Factory, which is deal with Google and Google information, is that we built a tool called Content Factory that goes out and scrapes information directly off of already highly ranked pages, brings it into a real easy system for you to manipulate and look at, create and spin. And within minutes, you have as many unlimited, pages and articles and content that you could ever want, by utilizing Content Factory. And then using all that data that you collect, you use that as metadata for your images. And you could have hundreds of thousands of lines of data that you've collected off of the Content Factory, and use that as metadata, use those in the, not only that, but the embed codes, put your images in embed code. So many things that we could do along the lines of what we're talking about. It's just really kind of crazy, but you can use, like Gary's saying, you can use this as a PBN. Why would you want to go get a shitty PBN when, you could just sit here and build 10 of these a day just by hitting a button, changing the content, changing a couple links, boom, linking this to the next one and linking to the next one and the next one. Why would you want to go to any other PBN builder? I mean, seriously, I don't know. These are, tier one, qualified sites. They're G sites, and Google loves itself. So you just sit here and link and link and link and link and link. You got one hell of a PBN. Sorry, Terry, go ahead.
That's okay. While that's doing that. So you see how simple it is to fill in the blanks. And you saw where I could put in a link in the header, a link in the footer. And of course, with the text editor, you can put a link anywhere you want in your text for that matter. So you can create a lot of links coming from this Google property. And that's good for you. And Patrick mentioned that a few years ago, they showed somebody how to create a G site, and he did a decent job, and it was ranking about half of the front page search results, not counting, ads and stuff. Well, today it's still doing well. If you want to Google it, you can Google Texoma SEO and see that it's still doing okay. When I Googled it a few minutes ago, this is the Google site at the top organic listing.
Now, we did that over 3 years ago, right?
Yeah. And this is what it is. You can see it's only got the 4 pages. It does have a map and a calendar embedded in it. That is the bottom of it, by the way. It's not like, and there's the products and services page. It's not a fancy page, but it does have the power of Google.
Are those links? Are those links there, Terry? I can't remember. Back up to the cities. So those are pages that's going to pages that are broken, and it's still number 1.
Yep.
But when we first did it, we had other pages that we had linked to for that, just FYI. They weren't just bare. So the secret to this page, because of the structure, is I want everybody to know that they're behind the scenes. There is a PBN behind the scenes. We built a G site structure tier. I believe it's 432. So we had 4 going to 3, going to 2, going to 1. And that was 3 years ago. And Texoma is it's not an easy term, but it's not a hard term. It represents, Texoma is an area between Texas and Oklahoma, and it's a legitimate, term. So it just goes to show you when you build these and you structure them, they can rank and they will rank. Terry, if you remember when we first started this, we weren't worried about what they look like. It's like this. And they started to rank and customers started calling, what the heck did you do? You got our site up there and it looks like crap. Well, we didn't expect it to rank so fast or at all, actually, when we first started, right?
Yeah. You can see it's 250,000 results.
Right, half bad. Hey,
not for a local. I mean, it is local, to that area, obviously. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that
Go back to that page once. I want to just show you one other thing. Go back to that page. You can. I may not even be there anymore. Scroll down just a little bit.
Everybody, any of you search, you'll see slightly different results because you won't be searching from Greensboro, North Carolina, probably.
Right.
And this, I'm not doing this search from the VPN or VPS. I mean, I'm searching it from my own.
Right. Because
So,
last time I did a search, Ranking Factory actually showed up as one of the. Yeah, it doesn't anymore, but it used to.
yeah.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
So. But anyway, like Patrick was saying, if you use this software just a couple days a week, you'll have some extra time and you'll have some powerful links pushing whatever target you're using. Simple to do, but very effective for quality backlinks, which, yeah, sounds a little obvious, but building them manually was also effective, like that Texoma SEO, but it was inefficient. Took too much time. It was a pain. And if something takes too much of your time, it's taken too much of your life. So, they say, the value of anything is how much of your life you'll exchange for it. So the less of your life you have to exchange to build these links, the better. And again, I'm not building any Google sites by hand now, because why would I? When I can not just build them this way, I'll then have them saved so I can pull up and rebuild anyone I want, change the geo, change the images, whatever I need to change or add. So, that's a big plus there. And you don't have to stand there going, now, what was I going to do next? I have to change the title. I have to do this. You'll have that fill in the blank. So you won't be, shooting yourself in the foot for it.
So let me ask everybody, how many of you here have VAs? Put it in the chat box. If just say yes if you have a VA. Anybody have VAs, or you do all the work yourself? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's it? Out of 33 people, only 7 use VAs? Okay, 8.
That's okay. You're probably working on growing the agency, and this is something that will help you.
Right. So for the guys that have VAs, you yourself take the time to create the best template and the best that you can. And then you turn it over to the VAs, and every day you just have them, pull it up, because it's load up, save and load. They pull up, they hit spin the article. You have a couple things that tell them to do, tweak it, and then they push out a whole brand new, site. And every day you just have them do it again and again and again and again and again. And literally for what, Terry, 60 to 90 minutes a day for a VA, you could absolutely just crush it.
And that's what, $5 or $6 maybe? I mean, so it'd be, money be well spent on getting them, having someone build them for you saves even more time.
Oh, totally, right?
Because if they can build them in, say, 2 hours, when they're first getting started and they're figuring it out, and you pay them $5 an hour, so you end up paying $10. Those 2 hours, you ought to be able to make more than $10 doing what you're doing. So, the rest of that's just, adds to your bottom line. So
here's a great question. How would you fix a page that you may have placed a wrong video link or wrong something after it's published, manually or within the software override?
If I only did it on one page of one site, I'd probably go ahead and just do it manually. Sign in, put in the right video link, make sure it's, playing and that it's the right one this time, stuff like that. If I had it on a series of pages, even if it's just one site, but several of those pages in that site, or on several sites, several versions of that same site from where I'd loaded it again and again, then I would do it from the software. But
Like Brian says, it's like whether it's syndicated or not. If it's just one off, it's easy to do it. But if it's tied and syndicated to other pages, then it's a little bit more difficult to do it that way.
Yeah.
But the beauty is you have the option, right, Terry? You got the option.
Yeah. And there might be days when you'd rather do it one way and days when you'd rather do it the other way. You know, it just depends on what else you've got going that day, kind of thing. And just so you know, well, I'll wait. I was gonna say,
Oh, you have Backlink Factory up?
for those of you wanted to know the difference, this is the
There you
difference.
go. There you go.
Mega Backlink Factory on it. The other one said G Sites Factory. So that's the big difference.
Ah,
There is some functional difference, I suppose, too, but
is that live? Working?
yes.
Just show them the interface and what we do. Simple.
Okay, I wanted to point this out, though.
Sure, go ahead.
I use this. There are days I don't use this, but I use it more days than I don't. Keywordtranslationfactory.com. You can go in, use it for free. There are some of it has lots of tools on it, on that page. And some of the tools, the more complex end of the tool, you'd have to upgrade to a paid version. The paid version is pretty expensive, though. What is it now, Patrick?
$97 before we change it, but it's right now $97. Lifetime. Lifetime.
Pretty expensive for something that will spin content, that'll count words, that'll wrap your content, that will scrub, find, adjacent keywords, all sorts of stuff like that. I'll show you a little bit of it in a minute because I used it when I was setting this up to do the demonstration of the Backlink Factory. And you may notice a pattern. We got a bunch of tabs up here.
Yeah, Brian says Keyword Translation Factory is totally worth it. You could have capitalized totally, Brian, to make your point.
Yeah, there you go. This tab is for your licensing. This tab is for the training. This expensive and very important tab allows you to change the color of this button up here in the corner. Anyway, if you use code link
All right, Brian, we got it.
sign into that, your link indexer. There's an iframe tool built into this. Pixabay, if you have a Pixabay account, when you put in your APIs, you can put in Pixabay and it'll go find images for you if you don't already have images. URL shortener, again, if you have use your APIs to put in for that. Google Maps.
For variants.
That lets you do some stuff for that. The Sheets, which is the actual power part of it. Again, Google accounts. I've got some accounts in here. And it's, just like the other software, it's real easy to change accounts when you want to change accounts. And the links indexer, you just put your links in and give them a title. Let's say local SEO, whatever, and click submit. And that's all you do.
I have a question, Terry.
Uh-oh, go ahead.
What are those links and how could you use those links?
Well, I'm going to show you, but I had them in here, so I thought I'd go ahead and submit them while I was playing around. There are map links, so let's go to the maps section here. And again, if I'm in the toolbox, I can just go to this tab here if I want. These tabs are only up here because I've opened them up. Nothing is up here until you've opened that tab up, and then you can go back to it that way if you want from another one without having to go back to the toolbar. So maps, let's go over here to the main tab of maps. So I put in here business name and address, and then click search. This is a business of mine. And it brought this up. And in addition to finding the address, which I'd already put in up here for it, and the name, it also found the URL of that map, the latitude and longitude of it, has all the various data from the map in here, including an embed code for it, and the NAP, name, address, and phone, the CID number, all this stuff. Here's the URL for the knowledge graph. It gathers all that information, which is nice to have. But it also allows you to do some stuff with it. So then if I switch to this next tab, map variants, and you'll see, and I'm going to clear this out. But this is one of the things it found was the URL to that Google map for NC Internet Marketing. And I can decide to create some variations on that map. Now, if you've ever looked at a map and you look at the URL and then you move that pin just a little bit one direction or the other, I shouldn't say move the pin, you're actually moving the whole map around with the pin. The URL changes a little every time because it's a slightly different version of the map. So you can tell it you want to go just pick out longitudes, but randomly, and give you variations of that map. They'll still show your business or whatever business it is in the same position, but they'll be looking at it from a slightly different position. Or you can do latitudes, or you can just do both, which is what I've got checked here. And I've got it checked to do 30. I could do 100 if I want, but or 50 or 5. It's up to me. It doesn't really matter. And then this has a magnifier, because if you're looking at a map and you magnify and zoom in or out, that changes the URL also. So lots of ways we can find variations on a map URL, but they'll all bring us back to, in this case, my business, but whatever business you've put into there. So if I click run, now it's going to go create all these variations of that same map URL. So each of these is unique.
So let me ask a question. Of everybody that's here, how many of you have ever seen anything that does what you just saw here? In any software that you have, not to saying that there isn't any out there, but have you ever seen anything that's so fast, so easy, and potentially every one of these is a backlink that is in a proximity route for the business that you're getting that map pin for? Right? John, this is effing awesome.
And like I said, I could have put a bigger number in, but it's just, I don't need hundreds of them or anything right now.
That's the point. Here's the thing, Jerry, like you just said, you don't need to overdo this, right?
Yeah.
Everything is so powerful that you don't really need to overdo it, right?
And now that I've got this list, I can go and click indexer, which is how I got them in the indexer earlier. When you click on it, then it takes these maps variants and puts them in your indexer. So you can, take them back and index them. You also have you can put them in your co-linkry if you have that, and have your API in for that, or for the URL shortener. You can send them straight to Sheets. Again, of course,
watch what happens when you send them to Sheets. This is so cool.
You can copy and paste them, select them all, or individually copy and paste. Yeah, if I send them to Sheets,
watch this.
Go and open the Sheets tab. Now, this is all of them in there. Okay, and I have added some keywords, and I click the box, so these keywords would be anchor text. Whatever I put in here would be anchor text. Have some secondary keywords over here. And this is 5 cities near me, I should say. 1 city I live in and 4 right nearby. But if I click merge, it will merge these 5 cities with each of those keywords. So I'll have this as my anchor text now. Like any other thing you're going to put on Google, you need to give it a name. So if I call it, because I'm in Greensboro, and I will have a folder within that folder, I'll call local instead of Greensboro.
Are you stacking these, Terry?
So I'm going to, yes. So this builder, this backlink factory is going to build backlinks using these keywords as my anchor text using these variations of maps as links. And then I can add some more information down here if I want. So I put in here, this is the maps information we got from the maps.
This is metadata, guys.
In the maps over here, this is what that was, okay? I copied and pasted it down here. Now, then I put a little description, and underneath it is the NAP, okay? Let me, for now, just delete that NAP, just so you see, I can, if I want to, right-click in this box. One of the options is to import a NAP, which is what I've done.
Boom. That's pretty hard.
Now, over here, I have a spin text article. And at the bottom of it, if I want, I can import all my map data or the NAP, and instantly there, it's in there. Just that easy. Over here, some custom keywords. Well, as it happens, I have my keyword translation factory up here with those 5 cities and some of the descriptions. And if I click create a combination, it'll take Greensboro and combine it with all of these, then take High Point with all these, so on and so forth, till I have a whole list of a combination of geo-targeted keywords, which I can copy. And that's not where I want. Right here we go. There we go. I can put them right over here. So all this data is going to go into that stack. This is going to be in the descriptions and comments. This is going to be description and comment for the parent folder, and this for the child folder, which are these 2 folders up here. Right, so we're going to do that stack. I've got it clicked so it will upload the spreadsheet. I mean, it will open the spreadsheet after it's been uploaded so everybody can see it.
There is a warning button there, Terry. What's that?
Yeah, and next to it, you'll see 2,625. And that is the number of links that I would build if I hit the button right now.
Well, you got to remember, you got to multiply that times 3, right? That's 1 row. That's a unique row when there are 3 rows.
Yeah, yeah. And this warning is because this is a lot of power coming out of a Google sheet, and it can be abused.
Please don't use it for other than great things for your clients.
Yeah, don't abuse it. Don't, put junk links by the billions in there or anything like that. Or, your Gmail might suffer. Again, like the other, you can pick your Google account and it'll just do that Google account, whatever Google account you want it to. We have an upload button. Why is that funny?
Gary just said, tell me the story of the guy that built 1 million backlinks in a short time.
Yeah.
He created vaporware.
Choose an account. Let's see. I don't care. I think it matters what account I choose.
Well, while you're doing that, the answer to the question is somebody thought that more was better. So he had a GMB that he was doing, and it was number 3 or number 4. He wanted to get it up in a 3-pack. He built 1 million backlinks and moved it up to number 2 or number 1. I don't know for what. I'm going to say less than a day. And then
it went to number 1, but it didn't stay.
Yeah, it got vaporized. Like all of a sudden you couldn't even find it in the top 100. It just went by. It was gone. Now, here's the beautiful thing about what Terry's showing you and what you can do, right? And that is because these are links and because they are in Google folders and because you have control over them, can you guess what would happen if you do destroy something? How would you fix it? Who knows how to fix it? Who can give me that answer? Because with this system, you can fix it. With a PBN, you're SOL. You can't fix squat, right?
Right.
Randy, delete the sheet. Can you fix it? Delete the sheet. Or, you can just make it not public, but you could delete it as well. And everything, it takes a while. I think you remember, Terry, it took it like 3 weeks, maybe?
I'm thinking it was 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah. And it will come back because all those links fade away. So here's the really beautiful part about doing this is that you cannot destroy what you're trying to build because you're overzealous. And if you do too much, you can always back it off. It will come back. And so you're not going to destroy your site. We try to recommend that everybody stays around what, Brian, maybe 1,000, 1,500 actual links, when you're running the software, because you got to remember, you're going to multiply it times 3. So that might even be too much, but we didn't want to restrict anybody to what you're going to do, but Brian, no more than 1,000 at one shot. So that would be like 350 links, right? Times 3 be 1,050. Does that make sense to everybody? Give me a yes if that makes sense and you can understand that. John, yes. Okay, there's 26 people here that are asleep. Okay.
That's my fault, man.
Yeah, no, I don't mean that. No, you do more later, but at any one given point, cook the frog a little bit, right? Do some more. But this is a great tool. You pass this off to your VA, and once again, you give them instructions, and they follow it. They make a couple changes and a couple tweaks, and go and change map variants, change the zoom variant, and you could do this all day long in moderation. And I think Brian is on here, and he did this when we first started it. And what did it take you, Brian, to get your site to number 1? Was it like 10 days or something for a pretty highly hard keyword for SEO? Was 45 days in total to move it from wherever it was to number 1, and it's stuck. It's sticking. Well, Felix, just as an example, 30 to 45 days. Some people claim that they can do it in 3 to 5 days, but I would not suggest that, right? I would just say, take your time, do it right. And here's the thing. All right, here's another trivial question. And I'm going to give you one of my softwares for free if you answer this correctly. I'm kidding. I'm going to give you a keyword translation factor. It's free anyway. But answer this question. Okay. If you are doing this the right way for your GMB, for whatever product is that you're selling, and you're getting linked up, how many links is your competition going to find that you've done to get ranked in SEMrush or in Href? What? How many links are they going to find, guys? None, zeros. Damn. Really? Ain't no links. So for all of you that didn't know that answer, the 6, they're not going to find any of them. They can't find them because they're not there. They are there, but they're not there. So you have a competitive advantage because you could go to all the people that are trying to outrank you and you could see exactly where they're linking from, right? They have no clue what you're doing to get and beat the crap out of them in the ranking because they can't find these links. They don't exist. They do exist, but they don't exist, if you know what I mean. That's why I want to answer this other question, Terry. And we've had this discussion at the very beginning. but they're not indexing. They're not indexing. They're not indexing. Well, let me ask you a question. Do you really want them to index? If you don't need them to index to have all the power of Google and indexing, why would you want them indexed when people could see what you're doing? Does that make sense to everybody? So if you go try to find them, don't worry if you can't see them indexed. You just know that you see your site getting higher and higher and higher with G sites, backlink factory to G sites. My gosh, it's a killer. It's an absolute killer. Okay, are there easy to follow tutorial videos to help us with backlink factory? John, I'll give you a copy of this webinar right here and you're ready to go.
Yes, there are videos.
Yeah, there's videos. I'm teasing. But
and there's a great Skype group of people that have been using it. If you were to buy it today, there's people in the group that have had it longer than you. Whether some of them got it yesterday or got it, 3 weeks ago or whatever. I mean, so there are people,
2 years ago.
Oh yeah, I know what you did. The same thing I did, because a lot of people will tell you you shouldn't have put a period there. Like in the title of the your folder, if you accidentally, when you copy and paste and have a period in there, that can throw it off. But a lot of the things you can just ask in the Skype group, hey, this is what I did and this is what I'm seeing. What is that wrong or right? And somebody will jump in there, not even support maybe, and just say, oh yeah, I know what you did, and boom, you'd be good to go and keep on rolling.
Harry Randall's got a maybe a good tagline for us, right? If they had SEO Olympics, the ranking factory team wins the gold. That's a pretty cool one. I've not seen that one. I'm gonna copy that from my website. Can I do that, Randall? That's pretty cool. Thank you. It's fun. It's fun to do this stuff when you know what you have is good, and you know that it works. And you've had people that have had it for, since day one, and they still have it, and they're still using it. And then, they send me a message. My backlink factory isn't working. I need it today. My VAs are working. I got that message the other day, by the way. Oh, I forgot all about the languages up there. Look at that.
I don't think I've got my translation API in here.
Okay, but if you did, for everybody that's in different areas of the world that need translation, you can put your translation API in there, and you can translate everything that we're creating. Your keywords, and obviously you don't want it other than the keywords and some of the metadata, but you can translate it into your own native language. I think we have that in G sites too, don't we, Terry?
Yeah, or it doesn't have to be in your own native language. It can be, if your native language is perhaps Danish, but you want to build some sites in America, you can change it to English. Or if you're going to build sites in Israel, change it to Hebrew, Icelandic, Italian, Japanese, whatever. If your target market, you're going to target a particular country where they speak a language other than your own, you can do that also.
Okay. So here's a great question. And I think a lot of people might have this. So how does the sheets help our G sites? In other words, how does it get associated with the G site?
Well, when you put in, like you saw me right click and add the NAP, you can put in all the web information, which is your GMB, or you can put in just a URL. In the NAP includes your URL.
There's already is embed data in the link itself, but
you're already going to tell what you.
The other part of it is, Terry, the link itself that we're linking and backlinking to is a link to the site, right? So the link is the key.
Yeah, each of these, in this case, is a link to a map
for your site.
To that site, that page. Because this is what you're linking to. Like one of those URLs might be this right here, and that's a different one. and that's a different one, and that's a different one. But that's what variations are. It's slightly different. I'm going farther than big jumps, but they just go a little at a time to give you all the different ones. But all of these maps still have this business.
It hasn't changed, right? You're right.
So it doesn't matter how many of them you create, they're all going to still be maps that are built for this business.
And that keyword that we added to that link, is the anchor. So, each link in BLF is an anchored link, like Brian said, with the keywords associated with it. So the entity association is there. So that link represents your client's business, right?
Yeah. And again, because you can use an unlimited number of Gmails, you can separate each of your clients or campaigns if you want by Gmail, or you can just keep building more and then switch Gmails and build more of the same, but in a different Gmail. So there are more links going to the same place, but from a different Google property. Because links matter when in Google ranking. They're one of the major things. So,
Let me ask you a question. Has anybody ever gone out and Terry, maybe you've done this at the beginning. I'm sure you don't do it anymore. I mean, let me not say that I'm sure, because I'm not ever sure of anything. But would you say that at the very beginning of learning, the linking, backlinking process, and maybe even still today in some circles, guest posting for that backlink is pretty important and impressive by some people?
Yeah.
And how much, it's like how expensive guest posting could be to get a really good, decent backlink?
I know some of them are ridiculous, but and some of them are ridiculous for not even a great backlink, just a decent one.
Right.
The prices are going through the roof, but Backlink Factory lets you build as few or as many as you want. And in fact, instead of building 1 million, if you build 100, and then you build 100 again and 100 again, if you every week you were to build, say, 100 URLs, so 300 links, then 4 weeks down the road you see, oh, I'm ranking, I'll stop, knowing you could always delete one of them if you need to back off a little, instead of having one big block of 500,000 links and you've got to delete it. This would allow you to just delete anything you overdid.
Yep. We built in your own police force to protect you.
There you go.
It's called the delete button.
But if you have interest in G-Site, therankingstore.com/now, because it's a current offer, special offer, that site has information about the G-Site. It's not just a buy button.
There's various options on there too, Terry.
This is what it looks like. And you can see there some different options, and that's about it for that page, I guess.
That's it.
And Backlink Factory, if you go to backlinkfactory.store, it's a Backlink Factory page, surprise, surprise. And, so if you have interest, you can read more here if you want, or you can just jump to the buy buttons if you're ready to join that community and play with the software.
Randall's asking, what's the difference between the original Ranking Factory and I guess G Site Factory?
Well, with the original Ranking Factory software, Ranking Factory Revolution, there's a module in it, one of the tabs, it's for Google Sites. And you can't make 10-page Google site with it. It's just much more limited. This Google Sites Factory is the mega version of it that allows you to just build more quicker, and you can put more stuff in it. You've got all those embeds you can put in, YouTube URL, maps, calendars, whatever stuff like that, that you couldn't put in with just the original Ranking Factory Revolution. So if you built it with the original RFR, you've probably almost certainly gone in and added to it and edited it manually because it just didn't do enough, which is the reason for the breakout Google Site Factory, because you needed to do more with the Google Sites than you could just with RFR. Hope that answers the question.
Yeah, remember RFR doesn't, other than Terry, the kind of sites that we send up, which are HTML, not real sites, but we send those up to the cloud stack to stack them.
Yeah.
Like you just said, G Sites actually builds a real site, and Ranking Factory doesn't build sites. Some of the things that Ranking Factory does may actually index and may actually rank, but they're not sites. It's designed, you know.
Yeah, it's pages. It's a page.
Right.
You can build a page. This allows you to build just like you could manually, except, you know, quicker and more efficiently, but you can build full websites.
And the one thing that I'm excited about is the old sites, which were the old HTML sites, and they were really crappy looking, have been deprecated, and they're all going to be evaporating here sometime first quarter next year. So they're going to go away, and everybody that has the old sites are going to have to go in, take those old sites, convert them to a new site, and do a lot of work with them. And so that's why I'm excited that we are here at this point, being able to share the new Google site with already knowing API and some other things that are coming, so that when it does happen, you guys are going to get all of that for free when we upgrade it, and everybody else is going to be behind the eight ball, you know, taking that API, rebuilding their software. And so you're going to be ahead of the game with this.
We're ahead of the curve on this one. And yeah, you'll get emails from Google that your old Google site is about to go away. You need to convert it. And if you just hit there's a button, automatically hit a button to convert it, and it makes it look like crap.
Yeah.
But your information, it just looks like crap. So then you got to go into your G sites and manually redo it all. Whereas because this is the new version of Google Sites, I can't tell you that in 10 years there won't be another new version, but this one will be around for a while.
Right.
Because the other one was around for quite a while. So I don't expect they're going to make any major changes to it again for several years.
Lee says, can I see the codes again, please? What do you mean, Lee? The codes? You talking about the discount codes or something that Terry can show you? Oh, okay, cool. TRS 30. Right. So excellent job, Terry. Thank you. Brian, thanks for popping in and answering some of those questions that I screwed up on the backside of things.
Yeah, appreciate it.
You know, it's always nicer to have people who use the software every single day, like Brian, like Terry, you know, to actually come on here and show you, because they know what to do. And when they're in the Skype groups and you're asking questions, these are the guys that are going to be there to answer your questions, and along with myself as well and some others. But you always know that you got people that are answering questions that are using the software. You don't have some support person who is looking up the knowledge panel to answer your question. And Backlink Factory, Brian taught RJ, one of our support members, how to use Backlink Factory. So he's very good at answering questions and being on the ball right there to get you rolling if you have a product issue or something's not working. And I will put this disclaimer out. Terry, in the last 30 days, how many updates and version changes have we had to Backlink Factory and G-Site Factory?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Chris, the developer, is constantly working to tweak it, to make it better. And this is a great reason to purchase these and get in the community. He takes to heart when somebody says, it'd be neat if it could do this. And he'll play around and see if he can get it to do that. The software has changed so much because of input from people that go, well, this is what I do with my G sites. I do this, and then I make sure of this, and I go in and make the YouTube big. And Chris says, oh, I think we can code it so that YouTube
You can do that.
Stuff like that. So I mean, it's Chris is very active with improving the software, and all of us that use it love being in the community in the Skype, and you hear somebody that does something different or has thought of something else to use for it, and you go, oh, I didn't think of that. Yeah. So it helps everybody, and
right.
We all get better as the software gets better.
So the only caveat is expect, a lot of updates, throughout time as we continue to build this. It seems to me like it's a never ending story somewhat, Terry.
Yes,
Yeah,
sometimes. And sometimes it'll be a matter of Chris is trying to get it to do 2 or 3 things, and he gets part of it and goes, here you go. And then you update it and go, oh, okay, that's cool. And then, the next day he goes, oh, I think I got this other part now. So he's got a new update. So that happens sometimes, but
can you bring the software up again? I want to see one quick thing, because I know one thing I want to share with people what we're doing.
What software are you talking about?
Not either one of them. I just wanted to see if he has the Content Factory API built in yet. Doesn't look like it. Okay, so one of the things that we're working on to come with both G-Site Factory and Backlink Factory is we have built an API to Content Factory. So when you're in your 2 various products here, there'll be an API where you can put a keyword in, and it will go out to Content Factory, and it will actually write the content for that keyword that you want. And it'll spin it as many times as you want, and it will import it in here into your text box. Brian, I don't even know if I told you he was doing that, but that is something that we're working on for both. As a matter of fact, for all of our products, is to integrate the Content Factory API, so that you'll be able to have that content at your fingertips instead of trying to, go out and find it and search for it. Is that cool? Everybody like that? I know Brigitte's gonna say, oh, you mean I gotta buy something else?
Well, I gathered content to put in for the demonstration today, whereas when Content Factory is built into it, if you don't want to or don't have it, you don't have to go gather content outside the software. Then within the software, you can say, roofing in, I don't know, Dallas or whatever, and let Content Factory supply you with the content for the pages. So.
Oh, Leon said it's already in G-Sites. Okay.
Cool.
It is already in
G-Sites. I may not have the latest version. There's probably one a little newer in there.
Hey, maybe the latest version isn't one working yet for you.
Oh, well, that's what, see, I've got 3.6. I think 3.9 is out now. So maybe that has it in.
I'm just looking under, go over and look at manage APIs, see if it's in there. Can we ever create our own theme? You could certainly go on G Sites and create your own theme directly from G Sites, but not within here. Now we don't have the, no, it's not in this version yet.
Yeah, I think it's a newer version.
Yeah, Leon said it's 4.7. It's in 4.7. Yeah, Paul, I mean, you're probably good enough to create anything that you want better than what this is going to create anyway, but what it creates is pretty good. But if you come up with some other themes, let me know. We'll import them for the group. So that would be pretty cool. Okay.
Does you mean for building the G sites?
Will we ever be able to create our own theme for, I'm assuming G sites, or just create it once and save it as a new site with changes? Yes, for G sites.
Yeah, we can save now anything we create, but Google itself, if you go in manually, you're limited to what themes you have options to. There's several. There's, I think, 6 or 7 themes, and then variations on each of those. But that's the limit right now. Now, hopefully the API, maybe that'll be something else we can do to have for anyone to create a unique one for themselves. But with the software, you'll be able to save anything you do create, and then reload it again.
Paul, as good as we are, we still have limitations that are put onto us by Google. They put us into a box and we can't get out of it until they let us. So, but we're always trying, man.
Well, listen, any more questions? We're going to wrap this up. Appreciate everybody attending and forgiving us for not being able to get everything working yesterday. But
so last question. This is probably something we could send to Chris. Paul's saying would love short codes to import local Google data. That's a great question. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Thank you. We will we'll send that one over to Chris and see what he says. Andrew, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Like I said, sorry about yesterday, but sometimes it's better off to wait for the next day to have everything work really, really well. And those that came, we appreciate it. And for those of you who don't have Keyword Translation Factory, please, 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 please go at least get the free version. It's well worth, the time that it will save you creating the things that you want is pretty amazing. I mean, pull it up real quick. We'll do one quick demonstration to show people how powerful it can be. Buy the lifetime version. Exactly. $97. I'm changing it to $197 in a couple months. Just doing a couple things. Go down to the LSI, the second tab down, third tab down. Okay. Okay, so you type in anything.
Put some
dog sitter, hit find 8. 8's the free version. So what that does is it's going to Google and it's pulling directly off of Google, the top 8 terms on the page, on the bottom of the page for that term, right? So the way that I designed this, the pro version, is that it finds the top 8 related terms on the bottom for you so you don't have to do it. And then it digs down to the 8 of those 8 to 64, and it goes down to third level for 5. If there's 512 related keywords to that main term that you have, it'll pull up all 3 levels, all 3 layers of the 512. How many? All right, everybody in here could say, very cool. I'm gonna see some very cools in here, man. This is a lifesaver.
And like the various ranking factory tools, you see you have options with languages too.
Yes, that's on the paid version only, though, Terry.
Yeah, but I mean, there's times when if you're dealing with you want to rank something in Brazil, you need to change it to Portuguese or whatever. So
Yeah, very cool. We got a couple very cools. All right, go to the next tab real quick. I'm not going to belabor this, but just show people it's important to do this, right? Now you got your top 10 titles. So type in the same thing, dog sitter, and you could put local, but just type in dog sitter. There's the top 10. Now you got to also remember that it's going to pull something based on the IP of where this is located. So you have to deal with that and sometimes take that out. But once again, if you're looking at top 10 titles for the title for putting in your metadata, right? Now you got the first 3 pages of Google, all 30 of them, where you can now take that data, manipulate that data. You know that it's already in Google. You all know what those titles are already being ranked. So you're already ahead of the game with that, right? Now that's already a paid factor one. But don't go into that one right now. No, there was one other one up there. But
if I want to get rid of these, I can say, well, remove any lines that have high point in them. And now it's got 32 instead of 40.
Right. Right. So this is just mega awesome time saver stuff, right? So you can do that, and then you can go down to the HTML one. You got a spinner right there for spin text as well. If you go up one.
Yeah. But this will convert to URL to HTMLs for you. Yeah, the spinner's works real well.
How many people hate? Just type in the word hate. How many people hate trying to do spin text? Right. So now you have an opportunity to take content from anywhere, pop it in the box. Yeah, Scott.
And there's your
Gary, double check the Google site lifetime for TS30. He said there's no discount code box option there for Paul. I'll fix it for you later, Paul, if he doesn't have it. But you can see if you put that in there, and that he's got word count. You know what your word counts are, especially what's cool for this, Terry, is that you got 110 characters for titles. So you can build out all kinds of titles, pop them in here and double check them to make sure they're going to work. And the other thing is, that you've got 1,000 characters for your YouTube channel description. So you can do all kinds of different spin channel descriptions and put them in here and check it to make sure you're okay. And then mostly, for your YouTube description, you have 5,000 characters. So you can build all kinds of descriptors, for your YouTube videos out of all of the content that you're building here, and your written content from Content Factory, and put it in and make sure that you're all within the limits, as well as your tags, because you know how many tags and how many characters you have for your YouTube tags, right? Very helpful. 40,320. That's all you got. It's 40,000 variations.
But just imagine if you're using a geo and a niche, dog sitting California, and just put those 3 in, and the different variations you can get that you can use for titles of articles, for keywords and stuff like that.
I think we should charge more for this. What do you guys think?
Okay, how many we're gonna end up with, guys? Any guesses?
3 times 3, 36?
No.
Oh, 6.
We got dog sitting California, sitting
Oh,
dog.
I gotcha.
Probably not gonna use that one. Dog, California, sitting California dog. No. And
Well,
California sitting dog, that might be a good name for a bar.
that'd be a great TikTok one,
You know, so,
right? So anyway, just wanted to briefly go through some of these. There's some other functionalities here that are pretty cool. The one that I like is the spin text, because I hate trying to write spin text. I just put my data in here, hit the button, and Bob's your uncle. It's all done for you without any mistakes and any errors, right? So
yeah, it's good. It's a good, like I said, I go to it not every day, but more days than not, I go to it for something. So,
cool.
okay. Well,
Very
again,
good.
we appreciate everybody being here. Catch me on Skype if you have questions or anything. So I'm there often.
Before we leave, does anybody else have a problem with any of the discount codes? Paul said that he was having a problem with the lifetime G site. Is there anybody else having an issue with anything? Okay, Andrew, G site code not available to enter. Pages do not have box. Okay. All right, give me 30 minutes and come back, and I will make sure that they are all fixed for everybody, okay?
Yeah, just leave it up and refresh it in a half hour.
Yeah. Manny, was that for all of the sections or just the lifetime? Was it all options? All, okay, thanks. All right, I will, as soon as we hang up here, Gary and I'll get on it and we'll go fix it, and just come back and refresh it, and you'll see the coupon code in the box.
Yeah.
TRS 30A. The code will not change. All right, thanks everybody. One last question before we leave. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the information, the presentation, and the awesomeness of the 2 programs that we shared with you? I need 32 people to answer. A 9. Terry, you failed.
Oh, damn it.
Okay, your average back up to 10 now. We got a 10.1. All right, Dave, thank you. Sean, awesome. Very cool. Eric, oh my God, the critic gave us a 10. Nice.
Cool. All right, thanks everybody.
Thanks everybody. All right. Have a great day. See you. Bye-bye.